everyone, this is Rebecca from Cameo Group Buys. I'm one of the new admins around here. I'm going to try to show you as quick as possible a little video of how to use Google Docs. Now first you can see that I already signed in, but if you don't have a Google account, you're going to click this blue button that says sign in, create your account, and come back to this home screen. Now we're going to click apps, which is this little box right here. Go down to Drive, click Drive. Mine's loaded with a bunch of stuff from school and Cameo groups and whatever, so don't pay attention to my files. Yours might be blank, yours might just be as full. Click New and click Folder. Now name your folder. Demo. Mine's highlighted, you're going to click on there. Now this is how you can share it with other people. You can open it with your boyfriend, whoever else you recruit, you can share them. However else you would like to. Click New. We're going to try to create a new form. All of Google Docs are modeled off of Microsoft products. Docs is Word, Sheets is Excel, Slides is PowerPoint. Let's go to More. Let's go to Google Forms. Now here you see the basic form template. Here you can label your form. You can see files. Make a copy. This is good if you're going to do two types of the same product one day and then two different ones the next month, however else you're going to do it. Edit, view, insert. Here's all the different choices you get. Responses, however else you want to see. So now let's start with the form description. The form description is where you're going to put all your buy-in information. Ship date, close date, PayPal name, etc. Under the question title, let's put name. As it appears on Facebook is going to be your help text. Now you can choose here the different types of styles they have. Text, paragraph text, multiple choice, text box. Some of these are not going to apply to you because they're based on research. We don't do research here. So here we're going to put name. We're going to make this a required question. I suggest required question for anything you have that might be legally binding, or you might not be able to send an invoice because you need this information, name, PayPal, whatever. You can also ask for their address here. We're going to click this button here, which is duplicate. I'm going to duplicate this to PayPal email address. We're also going to make this a required question. Let's move into how you would do it for an actual buy. So let's do green koozies. Make this not a required text because they can get green koozies or blue koozies or a combination. Good. We're going to make this a duplicate question. Put blue koozies. Now we're going to add an item. The item we're going to add is a conditional question. So by clicking yes, you agree that ship date will be 1 month after invoice date. So this one says, like, you know you understand that your order will not be processed. You can make this one a required question. Now let's click done. So we're done with all of these. Right here you can trash a question. Right here you can delete one. You can also edit it there. Now let's look at these confirmation pages. So you could have them submit another response. You probably don't want them to do that. You probably want this one. Allow responders to edit responses after submitting. This is super helpful if you're going to have your responses rolling and you're not going to invoice as you take them in. If you're going to invoice as you take them in, I'm going to suggest don't click that. But we're going to let them edit it. Now let's look at responses, and you can see summary responses, view responses, whatever. Let's change our theme. Let's make it pretty. Let's do the Six Flags theme as Gianna's Closet. and now you can view the live form. This is how the participant will see it, or the buyer will see it. You can put their name. I'm going to put my dog's name. Bella wants 100 green koozies and 150 blue koozies. And yes, okay. Now you can see where you can edit your response. Let's go back and edit the response. Bella actually decides she wants a bigger party. She wants 500 green koozies and 500 blue koozies. We're going to submit this one. Now let's go back and view the live form, and I'm going to put in a second response I'll put in for myself. No, I don't want to edit my response, so I'm all done. Now let's go back into here, like how you would see it in your form, because you're probably not going to be actively looking at it as I am in this demo. Now let's go into Group by Demo. Click on there. Now you can see they've already separated the responses from the form. But because today is your close date, let's say, let's go back into the form that you edited. And you're going to go into Responses. You're going to click under here, Accepting Responses. We're no longer accepting responses. Here you can change this to your ship date will be 5 days from today, which would be 3/9/15. Currently invoicing, email with any questions. You can put whatever you want. Now you can see what will happen if they do access the form. It will say, here's the ship date, here's currently invoicing, emails with questions, whatever you want it to say, you can say, but it will not collect responses. Now editors, who is you, can see that you want to keep on collecting responses. You can continue to do that by just clicking accepting. Just checking yes or no. Now let's say you don't want them to edit the responses. You're like, this is a hot mess, I don't want to deal with this. Just unclick that, and now they aren't able to do that. The allow one response per person is really helpful if you don't want to accept edited responses, but the problem with this is they do have to have a Gmail account. If they do not have a Gmail email, they are not able to edit the response or submit the form, so that might be limiting some of your buyers that way. Let's go back to closing this, and I'm going to show you some of the responses. View responses. Now you can also review these responses by going into this Group By, and you can see this koozie buy-in. You can also view it that way. As you can see, it's loading. And as you can see, this is really cool about what's cool about Google Docs is that when somebody does edit, it does add a flag. So if they do change their name, their PayPal, whatever they edit, it will add responder updated this value. That way you can kind of keep track of who's going to ask you a lot of questions, who's not going to ask you a lot of questions, whatever. Similar to Excel, these functions are very similar. So you can do the sum function. You can do sum function over here. Similar, very similar to Excel. Let's do total. Now that's your total koozies that you need to order. Now let's go back and say you don't like Google Sheets, it's confusing to you because you really need that Excel template. Go to the Excel template. Should open up. Sorry, I have slow college internet. It's taking forever. Alright, and as you can see, it's still flagged. This is one from earlier, so this isn't the current one. But it's still flagged with the current results. So you can still see it has carried over from Google Docs. That's kind of cool. Let's go back to the forms. Now when you want to send this form, you want to make sure that this is active. And send form right here. And this will just send the form. It won't send any of the editing or anything like that. Let's do the short URL to make sure it's short. You can copy this and you can paste it directly into your Facebook post. I hope you all have found this little tutorial demo helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of the admins, including myself. We do have a 48-hour policy, as we do across the board, for communication. So if you do contact us and we don't contact you within 2 days, please contact another admin. I seriously doubt that we would never get on Facebook, even while on vacation for 2 days. You know, you might be dead otherwise. Hope you all have enjoyed. If you have any questions, please contact me. You have my info.